接着为您播出华视英语新闻。
Good morning to you on this Christmas Eve. I am Louisa Lee, and thanks for sharing this special day with me. First, here on CTS News, the 6th Jiangchen meeting has concluded on Wednesday, but several civil groups are questioning the recently signed medical and health cooperation agreement. They said that it fails to specify which countries' medical standards should be followed regarding clinical testing on new drugs, and China also lacks transparency when it comes to reporting epidemics, which can increase Taiwan's public health risks.
The Medical Cooperation Pact signed during the 6th Jiangchen Summit is aimed at spurring cross-strait medical development, but civic groups are concerned about the disparity in medical standards between Taiwan and China. The groups say that China's epidemic reporting lacks transparency and that China's clinical trials are largely unregulated. Apart from questioning whether the pact will harm the health and safety of Taiwan's people, the groups say that the pact should be passed by the Legislative Yuan before being promulgated. They are also calling on the government to uphold the safety and freedom of the Taiwanese business community when a proposed investment protection agreement is signed during the next summit. Finally, the groups are blasting the new Cross-Strait Economic Cooperation Commission, saying that the establishment of the commission severely harms Taiwan's constitutional system and democratic value.
The National Communications Commission has suspended ERA's Variety Channel's broadcasting license. The TV station is accused of violating regulations for inserting advertisements in their shows for 49 times in the past 6 years. In response, ERA has expressed their anger toward the claim, and they are already looking to take the case to court.
Its operating license was issued 6 years ago and had to be renewed in February this year. But during the 6 years, the channel had 49 recorded violations, with penalty totaling 16.75 million NT$. Although the commission granted the renewal, there were two conditions. The first was that the channel's content must abide by Articles 17 and 19 of the Satellite Broadcasting Act, which in general terms regulate content and hidden advertisements, respectively, for a period of a year following renewal. The second stipulated that program reruns could not exceed 60% of daily content, but the channel had 3 violations since February, prompting NCC to make the decision to revoke the license. The commission sent an official notice, which went into effect in July 15th. The channel was also fined 2.1 million NT$ as it continued to operate after its operational license became invalid in July. It was fined 1 million NT$ for embedded advertising for a weight loss program aired in September. This is also the first time since NCC was established that it revokes the license of a cable TV channel. The channel said it expressed regret and criticized the council for its infringement of speech freedom. NCC believes the channel should immediately cease airing all programs and commercials. ERA TV said it was a law-abiding channel that will pay government-stipulated fines, but it will seek remedies by filing lawsuits against the commission.
With the local economy gradually reviving and with the signing of ECFA, the future is looking brighter than ever. The Academia Sinica has released its forecast on Taiwan's economic growth rate in 2011, which is expected to reach 4.71%.
At the year end of this year, Academia Sinica released an economic forecast of Taiwan next year with an estimated economic growth of 4.71%, the highest figure among all other economic research institutes. The prestigious institution indicates that the rapid recovery of economy in Asia and the warmer local economy and local stock market contribute to a substantial increase of GDP this year. The figure is estimated to be adjusted upward to 10.31%, the highest in 23 years. Even though Academia Sinica adds that Taiwan's economy is relatively stable, many factors are looking to influence local economic prospects, including the debt problems of Europe, China's rising monetary policy, the currency policy of the U.S., the influx of hot money, and NT dollar's appreciation against the U.S. dollar.
In an effort to curb violent behavior in schools, the Ministry of Education has proposed an anti-bullying legislation, and at the same time, they are also planning to bring police officers into the campus. However, lawmakers and civil groups who are against the proposal said that the ministry should focus on finding ways to help students cope with the stress while improving the current counseling system.
Many schools are having problems with school bullies, with some even asking police to come to the campus during recess to keep things in order. Many civic groups are disappointed in the situation and saying that the Ministry of Education should be responsible for not able to deal with the situation for years. Many PTAs believe that due to pressure to continue education, many teachers are using assistance class time to teach regular classes, which put pressure on those students who are performing average to low levels in class, for they could not keep up with the extra burden, which could be the reason for bullying behavior. In the meantime, many teachers who grow up as model students could not be sympathetic, while they were not required to be trained in counseling. Currently, every 500 children, on the average, would have one qualified counselor. The Garden of Hope Foundation pointed out that though the Ministry of Education has set up bullying hotlines, it only received less than 20 calls per year. Civic groups are urging the MOE to supervise the distribution of qualified counselors and social workers. Lawmakers Zhao Liyun believes the reward should be replaced punishment, while schools should be encouraged to be involved in student counseling and encourage those who are afraid to speak up to fight against school bullying and solve the problem.
The Council of Labor Affairs has decided to amend its definition of death from overwork by following the model in Japan. In addition to factoring in the hours and the workload, the employees' health conditions will also be put into consideration in the near future.
29岁而已，我们辛辛苦苦的把他拉拔长大，结果被公司短短的3年就操死了。
The recent death of a Nanya technology engineer is widely attributed to death from overwork. 3 months ago, the engineer's parents revealed that their son had been working 95 hours per week for the 6 months preceding his death, or 13 to 19 hours per day. Controversy arose when the death was not classified as occupational sudden death, and the Council of Labor Affairs recently decided to ease restrictions on the definition of occupational sudden death. The CLA intends to follow the Japanese model and include cerebral and cardiopulmonary conditions in the definition and certification process. In the future, factors including overtime hours and workload will also be used to determine whether a death was the result of overwork. According to the CLA, the new standards may be applied to 3 disputed occupational death cases, including that of the Nanya engineer, currently under review by the Occupational Disease Appraisal Commission.
If you are making your shopping list for the traditional Chinese New Year, then be prepared to face a hike on the price of dry goods in this year. Due to the global climate change and the strong demand in China, prices are up by around 30% for abalone, scallops, and some Chinese herbs.
With Lunar New Year still a ways away, Dihua Street is full of holiday flavor. The shelves are stocked with ingredients, though the crowds are not so large. Some come and ask for prices, with many learning about increases for many dry goods, especially this can of abalone from Mexico. The price rose the most. This can has risen from an original 2,200 NT to 3,000 NT, or a gain of about 40%. The reason has been reduced production, which has led to a shortage in supply. Not only has the price increased for abalone, but also red dates, which rose 30 NT per caddy. And dried scallop and mullet roe rose even more. The price per caddy for scallops rose from 1,800 to 2,400 NT. Mullet roe increased from 1,400 to 1,700 NT, while the price of wolfberry per caddy increased from 180 to 240 NT, for a gain of 20 to 30%. The industry says that these gains may even increase as Lunar New Year approaches, and increased demand, not supply, pushes up prices. Therefore, they suggest replacing some of these items with pine nuts and mushrooms, whose prices have been relatively steady.
In health news, now you may want to think twice before lighting up that cigarette. Smoking has been blamed for osteoporosis, which leads to calcium loss. And now you may want to add teeth falling to the list of hazards. One habitual smoker is now experiencing serious tooth problems, making him hard to swallow with only 6 teeth remaining.
52-year-old Huang has been smoking for 40 years. And due to that habit, he is suffering from gingivitis, with his teeth starting to fall out slowly. He only has 6 real teeth left and must have dentures to consume solid food. Dentists point out that many understand the hazard to health from smoking, but will not pay attention to the oral damages smoking would cause. The nicotine in cigarettes will lower the white blood cell defense abilities and making it hard to fight against bacteria, causing blood vessels to contract and lower the repairing ability. In addition, many who smoke don't like to brush their teeth, making it much easier for bacteria to grow in the mouth, making it easier for smokers to lose their teeth when compared to non-smokers. Dentists suggest to quit smoking and betel nut chewing, coupled with a habit of good oral hygiene and oral checkups to have a healthy set of teeth.
Now to another related news. Taiwan medical team has successfully applied plasmapheresis on a heart transplant recipient. With numerous times of rejection, experts have finally saved the life of a 22-year-old man by giving him a new heart and a new life. Today, the young individual is sharing his experience with others around him, giving hope to those who face similar heart problems. A man in Pingtung was diagnosed with oral cancer and was told that he only had 3 months to live. Instead of feeling hopeless, he decided to encourage other cancer patients with his story. Now that he has lived longer than the doctor's prognosis, he will continue his battle against the deadly disease.
The lottery vendor, Mr. Jian, is always energetic and smiling, but you would be surprised to know that he's a stage 3 oral cancer patient. He was diagnosed with the disease 2 years ago, and the doctor told him that he only had 3 more months to live. Mr. Jian, a single father with a son, was 47 years old at that time. He said he then decided to embrace the challenge because he hoped to set up an example for his son. And his decision has surprisingly changed his life and those around him. To divert his attention from pain caused by chemotherapy and agonizing treatments, he would make wooden Japanese-style carvings, including Buddhist temples, which he later donated to welfare groups for charity sales. Then he realized that even though he was sick, he could make his life more meaningful by helping others. So he began working as a volunteer at the Sunshine Social Welfare Foundation by giving speeches regarding his personal experience of battling cancer and to encourage people to treasure what they have. Even though it's painful for him just to talk, he insists to make 2 to 5 speeches per month. He has even made phone calls to cancer patients to encourage them to go through the treatments and to stay hopeful. Mr. Jian says he doesn't know when his life will end, but he cherishes every single day. He has found the true value of his life through encouraging others and will continue to do so as long as he lives.
And for this Christmas, what are the little ones longing for? How about sitting on Santa Claus's lap? An authentic Santa has traveled across the world to our island to wish the children in Taiwan a Merry Christmas in person. No, you are not imagining things. Santa Claus does exist, and as of now, he is taking a break from chimney duties, and he is at the National University Hospital in Taipei, fulfilling the Christmas wishes of these young patients who are suffering from cancer. For the first time ever, the children are circling around Santa, who is originally from Lapland, Finland. With a license in hand, Santa's chores require delivering presents to houses around the globe and writing back to children during this holiday season. The little ones are thrilled to meet Santa face to face and to capture a real moment with a real Santa. So don't tell your kids that there is no Santa in the world, because on this Christmas, their hopes and dreams are coming true. And thank you for sharing your day. I am Louisa Lee, and I will see you next Monday. Merry Christmas to you, and stay with Kirichua on this holiday. Now, a zoo in Hsinchu is a home to a group of newborn white tigers. With only 300 white tigers left in the world, stay to catch the images of the furry ones. That is next on the Morning News.